Daniil Medvedev sends the defending champion packing.
Ladies and gentlemen, our champion, Daniil Medvedev.
Daniil Medvedev is a Russian tennis player who has achieved a great deal of success in the tennis sport over his career, as seen by his excellent record. Therefore, keep watching this video to find out how good Daniil Medvedev really is.
Just another memorable Melbourne night.
Daniil Medvedev won his first professional match on February 11, 1996. According to the Association of Tennis Professionals, he is presently ranked third in the world in singles. Prior to that, he was ranked first in the world, a position he held for a total of 16 weeks. By virtue of the multiple accomplishments he has accomplished, Medvedev has firmly established himself as one of the most accomplished athletes in the sport. When it comes to singles competitions on the ATP Tour, Medvedev has won a remarkable 20 trophies. His triumphs include the 2021 US Open, in which he upset Novak Djokovic in the final to prevent him from winning the Grand Slam, and the 2020 ATP Finals, in which he became the first player to defeat the top 3 rated players on his way to capturing the year-end championship title. In addition to that, he has won 6 Masters championships, which is evidence of his exceptional abilities and consistent performance at the top level of the sport. Over the course of his career, Medvedev has shown his talent and level of dedication by reaching the finals of 4 major tournaments and 9 Masters tournaments. He is just the 6th player in the history of tennis to accomplish this record with as little as 6 championships, since he has won ATP Masters titles at 6 separate sites. It was in the singles competition of the 2015 Kremlin Cup that Medvedev made his debut on the ATP Tour main draw. This tournament marked the beginning of his career as a professional tennis player. In 2017, he competed in his first major event at Wimbledon and won the match against Stan Wawrinka, who was ranked 3rd in the world at the time.
Court stories. Daniil Medvedev on his Wimbledon debut.
In the year that followed, Medvedev won his first singles championships on the ATP Tour in Sydney and Winston-Salem. Additionally, he won his first ATP 500 title in Tokyo. 2019 was the year that he made his debut in the top 10 and reached the finals of 6 straight tournaments, including the US Open. This was the year that he had his breakthrough. In February of 2022, Medvedev accomplished a historic milestone by being the first player outside of the Big Three, Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic, to hold the world #1 ranking since Andy Murray in 2016. After Yevgeny Kafelnikov and Marat Safin, he became the 3rd Russian player to take the top spot in the rankings, joining an exclusive club of Russian players who had already achieved this feat. The following are some of the reasons why Medvedev is such a talented player. He has a playing style that is unconventional and unique, and is absolutely worth getting a closer look at. There has been a significant rise in the number of players who are 6 feet 6 inches tall or higher since the beginning of the 1990s. If you are that tall like Medvedev, you have an edge over players who are shorter when it comes to positioning the ball in the corners of the screen. Medvedev is a retro figure. His service motion is rather straightforward, and he does not bend his knees too much. He is capable of producing speeds of up to 220 km per hour and routinely hits first serves at speeds ranging from 170 km per hour to 210 km per hour. In the beginning, Medvedev positions his racket at a perpendicular angle, which gives the appearance that he would serve with a backhand grip. On the other hand, we get the idea that he employs continental control. Additionally, in his service motion, he brings the racket down first before he sends the ball into the court. This is a traditional method of serving. Some contemporary players like to more open up their bodies and raise their rackets when they send the ball above their heads. Medvedev employs a move that is comfortable and, from a technical standpoint, should not break down under pressure. His second serve may be used as a weapon to gain cheap points, or with a lot of spin, depending on the situation. By the end of the year, Medvedev had won 75% of his first serves and 52% of his second serves, according to the statistics provided by the ATP. According to the ATP Tour, Daniil Medvedev now possesses one of the finest returns of serves in the world. Medvedev converts 40% of break points on average, which is a very high percentage and a highly outstanding accomplishment. Increasing the percentage of points won on his first serve to 80% would take him to the top spot in the world rankings. As a result of the fact that Medvedev employs a variety of tactics during the course of matches, he might be considered quite unpredictable. The way that Medvedev plays tennis is similar to that of a game of chess. He makes moves on his opponents when they are least expecting it. This includes getting possession of the ball early and moving closer to the net, or standing as far back as possible in close proximity to the backboard. Because this is a highly contemporary approach, Medvedev may be susceptible to being taken advantage of by a player who serves into the corners and takes the net away from him. To add insult to injury, Medvedev used a similar strategy in the ATP Finals match against Dominic Thiem, which was played with serve-volley plays, considering that Thiem often stood close to the backboard in order to return serves. It is possible for Medvedev to utilize his height of 6 feet 6 inches to really lean on the ball and punish it, much as Todd Martin did in the 1990s. Medvedev's two-handed backhand is consistently dependable. It is tough to hit kick serves consistently against a player as tall as Medvedev. The body serve would be more successful in this situation. When it comes to the forehand, Medvedev has an extreme grip, which means that he should have more difficulties with it. It is a common trade-off that players who use the extreme Western forehand grip will have more problems with it on the return. Despite the fact that Medvedev has impressive statistics regarding the return of serve, we have not yet seen him play on grass or clay on a regular basis throughout that time. The game of Medvedev is designed to be played on hard courts, where the bounce is even and it is always feasible to look excellent. Out of all the shots in Medvedev's game, this is the one that we found most fascinating. At the highest level of competition, he is not the first player to adopt an aggressive forehand grip. Because of this, having an extreme Western grip does not always mean that you will be relegated to obscurity. Nevertheless, it can make things more challenging. Evidently, Medvedev made this decision at a young age, and he must continue to pursue this course of action throughout his professional life. Medvedev plays the forehand flat and far lower over the net than the majority of his contemporaries, according to commentator and former British number 1 Tim Henman, who has said this on several occasions. Considering that players who use an extreme Western forehand grip have a tendency to hit with more spin and greater net clearance, this comes as a bit of a surprise. Once again, this demonstrates that Medvedev is a player who does not follow the norm. The expression flattening it out to hit winners is not applicable to him because of the circumstances. This is mostly due to the fact that he always adopts that strategy and strives to get the greatest number of victories feasible. If we were to describe Medvedev's forehand, we would not call it a normal rallying stroke. He is able to create a huge amount of speed and often employs the inside-out forehand to move his opponent back and bring the net closer to him. In the 20 years that have passed, this strategy has been underutilized. A great number of players have developed a fear of taking risks and playing in an excessively conservative manner, being ready to hit 30-shot rallies rather than taking the initiative. Thus, the forehand that Medvedev has is hardly the most gorgeous one that we have ever seen. At some point in the future, he could also get an injury as a result of that method, but for him, it is effective. When the ball is gripped so tightly on grass, it will be more challenging to return serves since the ball will slide more. Despite the fact that grass bounces higher than it did in the past, it is still a natural surface. Unlike hard courts, grass does not bounce uniformly and needs more tweaks and changes. Because clay needs more topspin, a constant low net clearance will undoubtedly be a problem throughout the match, especially when it comes to protecting your position behind the baseline of the court. On the other hand, the hard court has been the venue for 10 of Medvedev's 11 championships to this point. And that wraps things up. We appreciate you watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.